Okay, hello my dear friends, I'm here with Kai Wild, or Jonas, as his real name is. He's from Sweden and has been so kind to come and talk about Chivalry in depth. Bear with us, English is not our first language, so we'll try our best. So Jonas, thank you very much for coming. How are you today?
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm fine. What about you?
I'm fine. Very excited to talk about Chivalry and listen to your opinions about the game. So let's jump right into it. Before moving to Chivalry itself, let the viewers know you, know something about you. What can you tell us about yourself?
Well, difficult question. Well, I work as a programmer, kinda. Have a huge interest in games. I've been playing games for my entire life mostly. Other than working and gaming, I guess I just hang out with my girlfriend, you know, I live a pretty calm life. I guess I'm a kind of a boring person, really.
You told me yesterday that you were developing a new game.
Yeah, I am. It's mostly a hobby project, but hopefully someday, in a year or 2 or 3, it will be something we could release. It's basically a sandbox RPG game. If anyone has ever played a game called The Guild 2, it's kind of like a mix between that and Mortal Online.
So we'll be expecting for an alpha test soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
So, with so many games out there, you know, Battlefield 3, Call of Duty, why did you pick up an indie title such as Chivalry?
I always loved medieval games and like melee games. I played Jedi Academy quite a lot. And I'm really sick of FPS games as well. I played Counter-Strike on a semi-professional level for many years. So I'm kind of sick of the FPS genre.
But Chivalry is like FPS. Why do you
Yeah,
like it?
it's an FPS, but you know, it's not a shooter, so to speak. You know, the melee combat is quite different from Counter-Strike and Call of Duty and games like that.
It's like a change of pace, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's more fun, you know. I like the idea of fighting with swords and other melee weapons.
If you had to describe Chivalry in one word, which would it be?
One word.
Yep.
Can I say glitchy? I would say brutal. Yeah, brutal.
Why did you pick such a word?
Yeah, good job.
It is kind of brutal if you think about it. I mean, just imagine yourself cutting someone up with a sword and body parts flying everywhere and people burning and yelling. Yeah, it's a kind of brutal game, actually.
I would call it awesome. It's an awesome game.
Yeah, it is awesome as well, of course, but
It is very fun to play.
my first impression of the game was just that brutal, you know. I remember the first time someone hit me in the face. It was some kind of mace, probably the Morning Star. I could seriously feel the blow in real life. It felt like someone hit me in real life. You don't feel like that anymore when you play the game, but the first times were pretty amazing that way.
That is very true. So, for those who don't know, there is an organization called ESL, which organizes an organization with that organizes. I must be a genius. Well, it is basically the core of competitive gameplay in Chivalry, among much other games. It happens that our friend Jonas here and his teammate Clanfags, a Chivalry alpha tester, won the first place in the 2v2 tournament. Matches were played to 7 rounds and they basically 7-0'd almost every team in the competition. So tell us, how did you prepare for such a tournament?
Well, the tournament itself was announced on a kind of short notice, so we didn't really have much time to prepare. We played 2 versus 2 against a lot of different teams from other clans. We played some IO teams, we played some teams from VK, formerly known as PB, and, you know, so we just tried to play as much 2 versus 2 as we could, but mostly I think we just relied on our individual skill, and we have kind of a nice synergy in 2 versus 2 as well. We work well together, me and Clanfags, so not much preparation, to be honest.
Were you or your teammate nervous at some points in the tournament?
Yeah, I'm always nervous when I play competitive. It's the adrenaline and all that, but you know, we expect, I guess, to win, but you're still nervous. You don't want to screw up. and you absolutely don't want to lose. You know, a few mistakes can lose you the game. With that in the back of your head, it's easy to get nervous. So yeah, we were both nervous. Most of the fights were shaking afterwards.
But were you nervous because of the magnitude of the tournament or because of your opponents?
I don't know, it's just the competition itself, I think. The magnitude of the tournament, it wasn't really a big tournament. Of course, we had some good competition, but you know, I'm very competitive. I don't like to lose.
Nobody likes to lose.
No, exactly. So I guess I punish myself kind of hard when I do mistakes, and I get even more nervous. But I think it's good to be a little bit nervous because then you push yourself harder.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we've seen both of you use a lot of mouse drag. Yeah, you know what I mean? This is a very interesting feature.
Yeah, accelerations, deaccelerations, and so
yeah,
on.
and when do you decide to use it?
I don't know. There's a lot of things. Well, the range between me and the opponent, what type of player he is. You know, if he uses secondaries and likes to intercept you, then of course you try to accelerate so he doesn't beat you up when you attack him. And I don't know. Sometimes I mix in delays. You know, if I've used a lot of acceleration, I mix in delays to make the opponent block too early. You know, it's actually the common stuff. But mostly, I think it's just to aim my attacks. I don't try to accelerate extremely much or de-accelerate extremely much just for the sake of it. I just try to have a flow or a rhythm in the way I fight.
Does it come naturally, or you have to think, well, I'm going to decelerate the swing or accelerate the swing, and I'm going to stand like this?
Yeah, it comes kind of naturally for me. Sometimes, you know, sometimes I can get pissed off and I can bring out a North Sword and think to myself, well, I'm gonna accelerate the shit out of this guy. And I just go, you know, do those insane hits with North Sword that he can't even block. And then, of course, I'm thinking about it, but that's mostly only when I'm pissed off at something. So
Do you see it more as an exploit or like a tool?
I see it as a tool that needs some balancing. With some weapons, it's kind of overpowered. Like the Bardiche, for example, it hits like a truck and it's still faster than almost any other weapon in the game when you accelerate it. So I wouldn't say it's completely balanced, but the mechanic itself is not an exploit in my eyes. It just needs some working out.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It needs to some tweaking, you know, because the Bardiche, the accelerated overhead in the Bardiche, it's extremely hard to block.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's incredibly fast, and the delay as well. I mean, if a guy comes to you and he accelerates 3 overheads in a row with the Bardiche, you're so scared of him, and then he delays it, and you're screwed.
That is very true. I mean, it is kind of tool, but some people use it as an exploit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, some people do have an abusive playstyle when it comes to mouse dragging techniques, I agree. But, you know, I don't know if you can judge them that much. It's up to each and every one to draw a line what's abusing and what is not. But in the end, it's up to the developers to restrict what we can do in the game. So
yeah, sure. So, do you rage in Chivalry?
yes.
A lot?
On public servers, yes. And during clan trainings, yes.
I mean, personally, I've broken a window because of this game.
Oh, well, yeah. I'm not sure if I should say anything about this, but Sofax, he actually broke the monitor on his laptop when we lost a game. So,
yeah, I mean, this game can be very frustrating.
It can. I've tried to calm down a bit, but I haven't destroyed anything yet. I haven't gotten that angry, but I yell a lot. You know.
Do you yell at your teammates?
Mostly not. No. Sometimes if they don't listen to what I'm saying when I have something good to say, then I can get a bit pissed off. But I generally don't yell at them. I just yell. Well, at what's happening, like this is going shit, this is going so bad, what are we doing? But I don't yell at any individual.
Is there someone in your entire team that is known because of raging a lot or breaking things or insulting or stuff like that?
No, not really. We have a few members who kind of have a personal vendetta with other members from other clans, and they can be a bit mean to each other, but it's not so much raging. We don't really have a real rager in our clan, I think.
Well, that is very sane of you to have a very healthy competitive team to know to have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
In the end, it's all about that, right?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the times when I manage to calm myself down, even if it's going bad, I have much more fun than if I'm just raging and yelling and complaining about everything.
But that doesn't count when you join a public server that is in team objective, and you're like fighting with 3 guys, and you manage to kill 2, and you're about to kill the 3rd one, and there comes a vanguard swinging like there was no tomorrow and kills you. That are moments that you just gotta break something.
Yeah, I guess. I think on public servers I mostly rage due to the fact that most people on public servers are reckless. I mean, they get in your way because they want kills. Of course, they want kills. It's a public server, so they basically run into you and start swinging. And I feel that I'm pretty good at fighting multiple opponents, so I always run into as many opponents as I can find, But there's always some team member or many team members that comes in my back and starts swinging, and I end up taking more damage from my team than the actual enemies. That's the most frustrating thing I know.
Yeah, like Clanfags, as you mentioned the other day, that are people that are part of a clan and join public servers, and they are called Clanfags. It's a very absurd term that I heard today.
In Europe, some people tend to call us clan members for Clanfags. If you wear a title, some people will call you Clanfag when you kill them. They'll call you Clanfag if you're top of the leaderboard. Sorry. And I don't even know the origin of the term. I don't know why they use it. I don't see a difference from a player and a clan player. It's no difference at all to me. There are people who are not in clans that are really great at the game. So
yeah, maybe they feel inferior and they feel that they have to insult you in order to not feel shitty.
Yeah, it must be something like that. I don't know.
But it's very unhealthy to the game itself.
Yeah, it is. But every game has trolls and people who just want to mess around with other people, I guess. Remember I played Counter-Strike for a long time, and there were so many assholes in the community on the public servers.
They are in every game.
Yeah, I think as the competitive community grows larger, I think the respect to one another in the game will grow as well, because more and more people play competitive and they start to have a different perspective of the game. I can understand like someone who launches Chivalry, he's not in a clan, he doesn't play it seriously, he's just a casual player and he gets on a public server and people are people on the internet, and of course they try to mess around with everyone else. And some are mean and some, how people act. But with more competitive interest, I think it would perhaps calm down a little bit at least.
Yeah, sure. I mean, Chivalry has been live for about 5 months, 4 months.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
It's not really long-term competitive, if you think about it.
Not at all.
Maybe it will take up to a year to form a very solid competitive community.
Yeah, I think so too. And also the developers, they need to fix some issues in the game, because it's pretty hard to form a competitive community around the game right now, because there are some abusive glitches in the game that people can use, and game mechanics that doesn't work as intended. And if you really wanted a really serious competitive scene, then you can't have those inconsistencies in the game. It's way too hard to handle for tournament admins and the clans and everything.
But for an indie title, it's going pretty well.
Oh yes, it's an amazing game, and as the developers themselves said, they were also surprised how well it sold and how many is playing it. But it's a really good game. If you look past the inconsistencies, it's an awesome game. I believe they can fix it. I really do.
Well, I just wanted to say that to the viewers right now, that if you're interested in the game itself and you haven't played it yet, here our friend Jonas has a YouTube channel. You are invited to go ahead and check his videos out. They will be in the video description. And that's it. Unfortunately, we come to the dark side of the interview.